the Facebook, got the YouTube. There's a certain order of things that it likes. Waiting on Twitch. Looks like we got, nope, Twitch went back off, but maybe it'll come back up. Seems to be there. Okay, folks, good to see you. Granddaddy's good name fits like a shackle and a chain, and all them others long dead still hanging round my head. Hard-working cattlemen, there's not a one left of them. There's only me, there's only mine, and I guess we're all the other kind. Throwing dice and dipping snuff out in a trailer back in the brush, sipping Crown and smoking weed, hunting hogs and cooking speed. That's how we do it nowadays, no matter what the teachers used to say. Pass judgment if you dare, see if any of us care. You got damn right, you got no clue, so don't tell me I'm dying. That old black dog has got me down, I can't get loose from Lobo Town. The postmistress, she's telling tales, while all the blue hairs come get their mail, wondering why a boy like me gets into trouble. Well, let me see, they might be kinder if I were poor, or they might only hate me more. When they only know you by your car, it's who you come from, not who you are. 200 channels on a big TV won't fill the holes inside of me. I'm getting twisted, I'm getting sick, I need some help, and I need it quick. 'Cause I can feel the curtain fall, there won't no one return my calls. I used them hard, I used them up, I never will amount to much. You goddamn right, got no clue, so don't tell me I'm dying. That old black dog has got me down, I can't get loose from Lobo Town. I take the house and the land, I'm gonna list it, get what I can. Sell the horses, sell the cows, sell them all, sell them now. Cowpunk thing going today. Well, looks like the grid in Texas held up this time. All hail Abbott. I'm sure he single-handedly saved the day. When I was maybe 3 or 4, the fuller brush man would knock at the door. He'd always tell me, boy, you're gonna miss the fun. Time you're old enough, the honky-tonks will all be gone. Mama had no sense with cars. She drove a Sunbeam and she drove it hard. It left her stranded time and again. Didn't matter, you could do that then. When they danced on the rooftops, let their hearts run wild. Such a sight to the eyes of a child. We were used to all the best, the man from Uncle and the wild, wild west. We ruled the skies from a backyard swing. Nothing that flies could have stopped that thing. While they danced on the rooftops, let their hearts run wild. Such a sight to the eyes of a child. Blood-stained black tops stretched out beneath the wheels. Before we knew it, it was all too real. The voice of reason confined to the past, and all that mattered was to get there fast so we could dance on the rooftops, let our hearts run wild. Should it all come down to your less than dime, you can dial that number one more time. But the phone won't ring, the line's gone dead. It's lost in history, like I said, it's gone. So now we give it all we got. Pick 'em up at daycare in a state of shock, frayed at the edges and torn at the seams. It rarely happens in our wildest dreams that we dance on the rooftops, let our hearts run wild. And it ain't for the sake of the child. Don't too often see a sunbeam anymore, and you never see a fuller brush man or a dinosaur, and the voice of reason rules with an iron fist. Please forgive me if I'm not prepared to handle this. Well, I was supposed to be finishing up a tour about now somewhere north of here that I had to postpone it because of the oh my god variant, and much as I hate that, I don't mind not having to drive around in that weather up east. That would have been real bad. I'll try this. I hadn't done this in a long time. Light snow falling on shops and the lumber yards. Streets as slick as glass, ditches lined with stranded cars. The tow trucks are busy dealing with the evening rush. I might have picked a better day. I probably shouldn't expect that much. I'm just on the outskirts of an old familiar town where the misty darkness coming down. And on the fringes outside looking in, she says, well, now where you been? Didn't expect you back again. Trying to get out of the wind, are you now? Standing on the doorstep, something doesn't feel the same. Strange car in the driveway. Guess I really can't complain. No wonder should I even knock or just head out on my way. And it's an awkward moment, staring at the floor, filling up the ashtray on the outskirts of an old familiar town with the misty darkness coming down. And on the fringes outside looking in, she says, well, now where you been? Didn't expect you back again. Trying to get out of the wind, are you now? Cold coffee, styrofoam cup from the stop and go. I throw it in the floorboard, catch the weather on the radio. Freezing rain continued on through the morning. Traveler's advisory, I give a little more warning next time I'm on the outskirts of an old familiar town with the misty darkness coming down. And on the fringes outside looking in, she says, well, now where you been? Didn't expect you back again. Trying to get out of the wind, are you now? Running round in circles and I'm chasing my tail, carving my initials with a rusty nail, betraying my intentions. Man, it happens without fail. You'd have thought that I'd know better by now. Be some dark what secret I keep bottled up inside, or just some minuscule transgression I shouldn't have tried to hide. It's not the size that matters, it's deceit she can't abide. And you'd have thought that we'd know better by now. And of course she knows, 'cause I can't fool her, and I know she knows, 'cause she don't fool me. And she knows, I know she knows, and we might discuss it eventually, when the pressure builds till it blows the seals all out from in between. You'd have thought that we'd know better by now. You'd have thought that we'd know better. You'd have thought we'd understand. Through all the smoke and mirrors, I guess we do the best we can. Hiding out, without a doubt, it's getting out of hand. You'd have thought that we'd know better by now. Seen the phantoms hiding in the shadows in her eyes, and it's not that I'm not threatened, it's just that I'm not surprised. Good for the gander, said the old folks, but they lied. You'd have thought that we'd know better by now. Now they circle up the wagons, professing deep dismay that we know all the words they just can't bring themselves to say. There's so much they never tell you, there's so much they hide away. And you'd have thought that we'd know better by now. You'd have thought that we'd know better. You'd have thought we'd understand. Through all the smoke and mirrors, I guess we do the best we can. Hiding out, without a doubt, it's getting out of hand. You'd have thought that we'd know better by now. You'd have thought that we'd know better by now. Do this. Strap them kids in, give them a little bit of vodka and a cherry coke. We're going to Oklahoma to the family reunion for the first time in years. It's up at Uncle Slayton's, 'cause he's getting on in years. You know, he no longer travels, but he's still pretty spry. There's not much on talking, he's just too mean to die. And they'll be coming down from Kansas and from West Arkansas. It'll be one great big old party like you never saw. Uncle Slayton's got his Texan pride, back in the thickets with his Asian bride. He's got an Airstream trailer and a Holstein cow. Still makes whiskey 'cause he still knows how. He plays that Choctaw Bingo every Friday night, you know. He had to leave Texas, but he won't say why. He owns a quarter section up by Lake Eufaula called a great big old blue cat on a drifting jug line. Sells his hardwood timber to the chipping mill. Cooks that crystal meth because the shine don't sell. He cooks that crystal meth because the shine don't sell. You know he likes that money, he don't mind the smell. My cousin Roscoe, Slayton's oldest boy from his second marriage up in Illinois, raised in East St. Louis by his mama's people where they do things different. Thought he'd just come on down. He's going to Dallas, Texas in a semi-truck called from that big McDonald's, you know, the one that's built up on that great big old bridge across the Will Rogers Turnpike. Took the big cabin exit, stopped and bought a carton of cigarettes at that Indian smoke shop with the big neon smoke rings and the Cherokee Nation. Hit Muskogee late that night. Somebody ran a stoplight at the Shawnee bypass. Roscoe tried to miss him, but he didn't quite. Bob and May come up from some little town way down by Lake Texoma where he coaches football. They were 2A champions now for 2 years running, but he says they won't be this year. No, they won't be this year. And he stopped off in Tushka at that pop knife and gun place, bought him a SKS rifle and a couple full cases of that steel core ammo with the bird down primers from Ukraine or somewhere that shouldn't ought to need them anymore. And a Desert Eagle, that's one great big old pistol. I mean 50 caliber made by badass Hebrews, and some surplus tracers for that old BAR Slayton's. As soon as it gets dark, we're gonna have us a time. We're gonna have us a time. Have us a time. My Rita, she's just about my age. She lives over in Missouri off of I-44 next to that great big old billboard of that little bitty baby wanting to know who's my daddy, selling that DNA testing. And she just done 6 months down at that Red River rehab. Had a little pain pill problem, but she's okay now. You know she's okay now. It's just cocaine now. Ruth Ann and Lynn come down from Baxter Springs, and that's one hell-raising town way up in southeastern Kansas. Got a biker bar next to the lingerie store. It's got the Rolling Stones lips up there in bright pink neon, and they're right downtown where everyone can see them. And they burn all night, you know, they burn all night, you know, they burn all night. Ruth Ann and Lynn, they wear them cut-off breeches and them skinny little halters and their second cousins to me. Man, I don't care, I wanna get between them with a great big old heart on like an old boat-arc fence post. You can hang a pipe rail gate from, do some sister twisters till the cows come home, and we'll be having us a time. Having us a time. Uncle Slayton's got his Texan pride, back in the thickets with his Asian bride. He's cut that corn or pasture into acre lots. He sells them owner financed, strictly to them that's got no kind of credit, 'cause he knows they're slackers and they'll miss that payment. Then he takes it back. He plays that Choctaw Bingo every Friday night. He drinks his Johnny Walker at that Club 69. We're gonna strap them kids in, give them a little bit of Benadryl and a cherry Coke. We're going to Oklahoma, gonna have us a time. Have us a time. Oh, well, Bob Wills said if you don't speed up, the dancers think you're dragging. I saw something in the news that was interesting. Does the Republican Party really believe that beating a police officer over the head with a fire extinguisher is a legitimate political discourse? I thought they were. I thought they were the Blue Lives Only Matter party, but they seem to contradict themselves every once in a while, like we all do. And I'm just asking a question. I mean, if I can't ask a question, then what freedom do I have, right? Does the Republican Party really believe that beating a policeman over the head with a fire extinguisher is legitimate political discourse? Just a question. Randy Newman wrote this song. He was much more of a troublemaker than I am. He got thrown out of LSU for being a troublemaker. That's the wrong song there. Let's see, what was I going to do here? Oh, yeah. What has happened down here as the wind has changed? Clouds moved in from the north and it started to rain. Rained real hard and it rained for a real long time. 6 feet of water in the streets of Evangeline. The river rose all day, the river rose all night. Some people got lost in the flood, some people got away all right. The river busted through, cleared down to Plaquemine. 6 feet of water in the streets of Evangeline. Louisiana, Louisiana, they're trying to wash us away. They're trying to wash us away. Louisiana, Louisiana, they're trying to wash us away. They're trying to wash us away. President Coolidge came down on a railroad train. A little fat man with a notepad in his hand. President said, "Little fat man, isn't it a shame what the river has done to this poor cracker's land? Louisiana, Louisiana, they're trying to wash us away. They're trying to wash us away. Louisiana, Louisiana, 6 feet of water in the streets of Evangeline." I was thinking about you crossing southern Alberta. Canola fields on a July day, about the same chartreuse as that 69 bug you used to drive around San Jose. Never knew where my old white Lincoln might take you. Party on wheels with suicide doors. Bring the kids and the dogs and your grandma too. We always had room for more. Till that white knuckle ride back from Santa Cruz, second best surfer on the Central Coast, had you wrapped up all the way back to Los Gatos, and I could have cut his throat. And it wasn't like we were an item to start with, it had no basis in fact. But the whiskey could push me to sudden extremes. I don't want to think about that. I don't want to think about that. Take my hand, Marie. Take a death grip on some part of me. Keep me from drifting far out to sea, or I'll be lost out there. We all filtered away with the days getting shorter, seeking our place in the greater scheme. Kids and careers and a vague sense of order, busting apart at the seams. And I heard you switched coasts, moved in with your sister. I doubt you'd have called it familial bliss. We met up in Brooklyn before it went hipster. You carried your keys in your fist. In a way back corner of a crosstown bus, we were hiding out under my hat, cashing in on a 30-year crush. You can't be young and do that. You can't be young and do that. Take my hand, Marie. Take a death grip on some part of me. Keep me from drifting far out to sea, or I'll be lost out there. Or I'll be lost out there. I was thinking about you crossing southern Alberta. Canola fields at harvest time look like tumbleweeds all raked up into rows, brown rusty contour lines. And there's not much moving on the romance radar. Not that I'm craving it all that much, but I still need to feel every once in a while the warmth of a smile and a touch. In a way back corner of a crosstown bus, we were hiding out under my hat, cashing in on a 30-year crush. You can't be young and do that. 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 Take my hand, Marie. Take a death grip on some part of drifting far out to sea, or I'll be lost out there, or I'll be lost out there, or I'll be lost out there. Well, I believe I'll stay on the new record for a little bit here. There's actually, somebody sent me an online tutorial. Somebody has figured out how to play this song the way I do it, and is teaching everybody, and I need to study that so I can learn how to play it myself. But it does kind of require an 8-string baritone. I don't know if you can see that, but it's a weirdo instrument. But the middle 2 strings are doubled. When the white oak leaves are rustling around the courtyard, tell the cook to leave the kitchen window down. Just don't lock it from inside, I might still need a place to hide, for I turn to face the horses and the hounds. Sister says to come on back for Christmas. Mama's wondering why you never come around. Lord, I've been running for so long, I just can't find a way back home. So I'll turn and face the horses and the hounds. You might hear some gears a grinding before I can get this rig turned back around and head back down the highway winding, back towards the horses and the hounds. Thought I'd found a love to last me, till she opted for that candy-coated clown. I didn't even make a show, just walked on and let him go. Still I'm running from the horses and the hounds. You might hear some gears a grinding before I can get this rig turned back around, head back down the highway winding, back towards the horses and the hounds, straight towards the horses and the hounds. On the trails and motel sign rides a warrior, with his horse front out and his lance pointed down. That's as far as he's gonna get, he surely knows what's coming next. He's just waiting for the horses and the hounds. You might hear some gears a grinding before I can get this rig turned back around, head back down the highway winding, back towards the horses and the hounds. You might hear some gears a grinding before I can get this rig turned back around, head back down the highway winding, back towards the horses and the hounds, straight towards the horses and the hounds. And I bet they hear it halfway back to town, when I turn to face the horses and the hounds. Don't know what went wrong, ain't known you that long to begin with. Leave the rocks in the road, stay away from the river, Virginia. There's not much you can do except wait on a train when the road gullies out in a biblical rain. And that's how it's been ever since I can remember. I'm not too keen of mind, don't pick up on signs like I ought to. So I won't sweat the cost of the coffee or the wine that I bought you. With your emptied out nest, the chicks have all flew. There's nobody left to take care of but you, and you don't know how to just be. No one ever taught you. I can't find much to say as you play with that loose strand of hair. If you had your tail, you'd be twitching it. And I got to get over the scare until you know. Until you know. Until you know. Until you know. I never saw such a cold day in June. Did you ever, Virginia? In our young days, the old people called it blackberry winter. As the mail plane goes out at a slow rate of climb, this cold rain don't help with your low state of mind. Hanging down like the fog on the ridge, you can't tell what's in it. And you stare me down hard and you ask me why I even care. It's not that I'm any Sir Galahad, there just needs to be somebody there to tell you no. To tell you no. To tell you no. To tell you no. Bags are all packed, you're not coming back, that's for certain. And the landlady won't like the stains on the rugs and the curtains. That's just wear and tear, such as happens in life. The folks around here live to gossip and gripe, so I won't tell a soul what they'll never know, never hurt them. And I found the letter you left at the foot of the stairs. And I heard the horn blow, the train's pulling out. I hope you find somebody there to tell you no. To tell you no. To tell you no. To tell you no. Leave the rocks in the road, stay away from the river, Virginia. Oh yeah, it's a good time for do a thing here. Sometimes I forget to do this. Doesn't seem to make much difference, but it's that's my tipping info should you choose to tip. Get you a screenshot if you want to remember it, because I can't hang on to this thing much longer. That's Junior Samples back there with his sign. That was his phone number back then, back when rural phone exchanges only had 5 characters. Wasn't that long ago, huh? I was alive, I remember it. Well, I'm running a little bit short on songs here, so I'm going to have to pull out another cover tune and hopefully not butcher somebody's lyrics too bad, which, you know. This one's got a lot of words in it, so I'll probably screw up, but one thing I've noticed in songwriting is ain't is your friend. Ain't is a really great word. Rolls off the tongue, fills up the spaces. In fact, any American country vernacular really lends itself to song. And of course, I wasn't raised to say ain't. My mother was she's a retired English professor, and my dad taught creative writing for a long time until he found his way into screenwriting and got to quit doing that. But I was raised by academics, but it's fortunate I picked up the habit of ain't, because it just helped me write my songs a lot more. That vernacular works even better if you're Billy Joe Shaver. On a rainy Wednesday morning, the day that I was born, in that old sharecropper two-room country shack, they say my mama left me the very day she had me. She hit the road and never once looked back. I just thought that I should mention that my grandma's old age pension is the reason I'm standing here today. I got all my country learning, a milking and a churning, picking cotton, raising hell, and baling hay. I've been to Georgia on a fast train, honey. I wasn't born no yesterday. I got a good Christian raising and an 8th grade education. Ain't no needin' y'all a treating me this way. Well, sweet Carolina, I don't guess I'll ever find another woman put together like you are. I love the wiggle in your walk and your big city talking and your brand new shiny Plymouth ragtop car. Let's hurry up and wait in this world of give and take. Haste makes waste most every time. When you hear those ages rolling, I declare down to my soul, believe I'm gonna get my share of mine. I've been to Georgia on a fast train, honey. I wasn't born no yesterday. I got a decent Christian raising and an 8th grade education. Ain't no needin' y'all a treating me this way. I got a good Christian raising and an 8th grade education. Ain't no needin' y'all a treating me this way. Through most of it. Billy Joe was a stand-up guy. To me, I got thrown off a package show one time with me and him and Ray Hubbard, and I got thrown off it after it was an issued contract, and the reason being the venue owner didn't like my politics, and I don't know that Billy Joe did either, but Billy Joe thought that was a bullshit reason to throw somebody off a show, and he resigned in protest himself. Yeah. Not very many people do that, except maybe Neil Young. You see, I've done my best to get most of my music off Spotify, and people are branding that as a silly protest. It's not really a protest. It's what it is refusing to do business with somebody that does something I really don't like. When you're big as Spotify and you're promoting misinformation that kills people, you shouldn't be doing that. And there are big old corporations that I can't keep from dealing with, because but that's one that I can keep from dealing with for the most part, because probably because I'm not doing enough business through them that my label really cares if we pull our music or not. But I'm gonna stand with Mr. Young on this one. Thanks for joining me. I don't think I'll be here Wednesday, but I'll be back Sunday. I don't take the paper, I don't watch TV. I was out on the road when the word got to me. Well, goddamn, the text couldn't have just have gone blind and heard your voice in my ear like I did in my mind. Mira, vaquero, se pone eso. Buen caballero, viajando con Dios. Mira, vaquero, no miramos atrás. Nos vamos al campo una vez más, una vez más. Shafts are still dusty from late summer's drought. When the cedar turned rusty, it's time to go south. When your time is upon you, you don't always know. Brinca la vida, abuela nos dijo. Brinca la vida, we learned long ago. Mira, vaquero, se pone eso. Buen caballero, viajando con Dios. Mira, vaquero, no miramos atrás. Nos vamos al campo una vez más, una vez más. So pour out the coffee and piss on the fire. I hear hounds in the distance, it's down to the wire. Make for the cow camp, we might have a chance. Vámonos por el campo, and el campo will dance. Vámonos por el campo, en el campo will dance. Mira, vaquero, se pone el sol. Buen caballero, viajando con Dios. Mira, vaquero, no miramos atrás. Nos vamos al campo una vez más, una vez más. Thanks a lot, folks, and yeah, if I am here Wednesday, I'll let you know, but probably I won't be back till Sunday. So have a good week. Stay safe.